Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Beecham Network, Multiverse of Media, has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the Sta Boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Sta Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dori Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa E18 Studios presents Sta Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show.
Hello, my internet fans. Thank you. Right off the bat, James Hebert and the James Hebert Studios for making that excellent opening for our season 4. Season 4, people. We've done Sta Boy Sports Bar for 4 years now.
No. We've done it for 3 years. This is our 4th.
That's why she's the stat girl. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Cheers. I gotta start it off right.
Oh my goodness. Are we ready to kick off season 4?
Yes, we are. Amazing. I love the intro. It was a great new surprise. Again,
yes, thank you, James. That was awesome.
You rock.
Our love and thanks to you.
So, for those of you who have not been watching the last 3 seasons, where have you been? And like the intro said, Dori Lou and I give you the fans the news, the sports, the updates, everything that happens in the week starting to. Oh, right, our first super chat. Thank you, Daniel. All right, kick ass. $1.99.
Awesome.
Well done. And Pop is in the room. Pop, thank you.
Pop.
Pop, I gotta call you out on this. Great job on the top 10 Beatles solo eras songs. Amazing. I'm still watching it. You guys did a great job. I mean, I can't gush any more than I already am right now about my family. I love you guys. You guys rock. I was very proud on that episode. Good job.
Real quick, to answer Chris's question, Chris Winland, we haven't been able to go to anything lately. We have a couple of things coming up. Potentially, we have Heroes and Legends coming up later this month, and maybe a surprise in October. We're trying to see if we can work things out, but we'll keep you posted.
Indeed. So, as I was saying, if you haven't watched the show, from Tuesday night to Monday night, we keep an eye on everything sports related. Every sport you can think of. If we find an interesting story, we talk about it. We take the teams in those sports and I rank them, but based on their win-loss record. If there's a tie, I go by points or anything like that. If there is an overall news story of any kind, we talk about it. We debate about it. Of course, the meat and potatoes of Sta Boy Sports Bar is NFL football. And today is the day we can finally talk about the 2023-2024 season, but you're just going to have to wait till your main course. Your appetizers are all the other sports that we have on our lineup. We've got plenty to talk about, and we are going to start with tennis. The Nordea Open in Bastad, Sweden took place, and the winner was Andrei Rublev. He is one of the top 10 players, and the top 10 comes up after we report on all the news. There is a way to do that. The men have been busy playing in 6 tournaments over the last 2 weeks, and with Andre winning, this is now his 14th ATP title. The EFG Swiss Open, which took place in Gstaad, Switzerland, winner Pedro Cachin, or Cachin. As you can see there, his little dog, Pedro, his little dog's name is, I didn't bring up my script. Argentine player Pedro Cachin won his first title, and after winning the tournament, he fell on the court and started crying. His French bulldog is named Tango. He went over to the stands. His dog licked his tears. It was adorable, friends. If you did not see it, you should find that clip on the YouTube. In the Infosys Hall of Fame Open, Adrian Monarino got his third title, and that tournament took place in the USA in Newport, Rhode Island. So that was all the week before what happened this past week with the next set of tournaments. The Plava Laguna Croatia Open in Umag, Croatia was won by Alexei Poprin, and he is from where is he from? I did not get. He's an Aussie. In one of the later sets, he had a bad cramp in his leg, but instead of retiring and giving up, he fought through it and got his second ATP Tour title. Back to the US of A in the Atlanta Open, a top 10 player. He's ranked number 9, Taylor Fritz. He won his 6th career title. And finally, German Alexander Zverev won in his home country by winning the Hamburg European Open. As far as the top 10 goes for the men, if we have that one ready, or are we going into the women next? There we go. A lot of the top 10 players did not play in any of these tournaments. Only Casper Ruud, the number 4 player, he played in the Hamburg Open. And Andrei Rublev, of course, lost in the second round. And Taylor Fritz won the Atlanta Open. Everybody else has not played since Wimbledon, which is the big, it's like the WrestleMania of tennis. So coming up this weekend, there are 4 big tournaments coming up. Unfortunately, I didn't write them all down. I should have done that. That's my bad. And Dori Lou, go ahead and tell us about the ladies.
Well, the women have been a bit busier than the men, starting with Serbian player Olga Danilovic, who won the Nordea Open for her 2nd title. Let's see how well I can see this and read this. All right. In the Hungary Grand Prix, we had 19-year-old Russian Maria Timofeeva winning her 1st title. Following that, in the Palermo Open, Chinese player Qinwen Zhang won her 1st title as well. In the BRC, what is that? The BRC IAC Open in Romania, hometown hero Anna Bogdan won her 2nd straight tournament in her home country of Romania. The ladies continued in Hamburg when Dutch player Aron Taxa Russ won her 1st ATP title in the Hamburg Open, and the number 1 ranked women's player Iga Swiatek stayed on top of the tennis world with a win in Warsaw, Poland. This was her 4th win this season and her 15th title overall. Finally, Elizabeth Cocciaretto from Italy won her 1st title in Switzerland. And as far as the top 10, only Iga Swiatek played in any of the tournaments that were held in the last 2 weeks. The only change was between the number 5 and the number 6 players, as they simply switched positions.
And that's how we start off the sports bar. You see, we're already done with tennis, just like that. Also, in a touching moment, Serena Williams is having a baby. And her husband, Alexis Ohanian, who is the founder of Reddit, they had a gender reveal party. Usually, one of the techniques is they have a beautiful cake, they cut into it, and it's either blue or pink. This cake was a standard lemon cake. It was a yellow cake. So they're like, well, what's the sign? He looks up in the sky, and he used drones. Drone technology is really cool. If you have not seen drone technology being used, they can make any picture in the sky. They use the drones to say it's a girl. So, of course, we all know Serena has her sister Venus. So now little Alexis, who was born in 2017, is going to have a sister, and who knows, maybe the Williams dynasty is going to continue. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And that's how we do it in the sports bar there, friends. That is what we do each week. All right. Up next on tap is men's and women's golf. At the 2020
2 3/4. Sorry.
American Brian Harman won the Open in Hoylake, England by 6 strokes. This was Harman's first major tournament win. After leading by 5 strokes in the second round, the British crowd wanted anybody else but him to win, but he did so. That he won by the second largest margin of victory in Open history. That stat goes to Tiger Woods when he won St. Andrews, the Open in 2000 by 8 strokes. The next player, American Akshay Bhatia, had to go to a playoff to win his first PGA title in the Barracuda Championship. Now, the Barracuda Championship scores things differently. Normally, when you play golf, you want to get to the hole in the fewest strokes, and you get, a par, a birdie, or an eagle. But in this particular tournament, they used something called modern Stableford. Instead of saying, you're 1 under par, you get points based on the number of strokes. And on the table here shows how the points are scored. So in this tournament, he scored the most points in his standard play, and he was the winner. The men finished up in the 3M Open in Blaine, Minnesota. The winner was American Lee Hodges, who won by 7 strokes, and he won his first PGA title. As far as the top 10 in men, let's take a look at those. And the men are, the top 10 men are, I guess they're just playing the big tournaments because none of them played in the other 2 tournaments. They all played in the Open, and here's how each one of them did. Scotty Scheffler tied for 23rd. Rory McIlroy tied for 6th. John Ram tied for 2nd. He did the best out of the top 10. Patrick Cantlay tied for 33rd. Victor Hovland tied for 13th. Xander Schauffele tied for 17th. Max Homa and Cameron Smith, they were switched, with Max being in the number 8 position and Cameron being in the 7th. But when they played in the Open, Max did better, so that gave him a bit of a boost in the top 10. Matt Fitzpatrick tied for 41st, and Brian Harman was the winner, and now he is part of the top 10. All right, Dori Lou, it's time for the ladies. How did they do?
Well, first of all, you forgot to mention that next the men are heading to North Carolina for the Wyndham Championship.
They're our next door neighbors, North Kakalaki.
Yep, that would be them. All right, so our ladies played in the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational in Midland, Michigan. I hope the nice. This was a team event under better ball rule, alternate shot rules. And I'm going to break this down a little bit. In better ball, whichever player scores better on each hole, that score would be counted towards their score. In alternate shot, teammates would take turns hitting the same ball on each hole. Now, American Cheyenne Knight and Elizabeth, I'm sorry, I'm going to mess up your name, Elizabeth Sokol, won this event by 1 stroke. It was a first win for Elizabeth and second for Cheyenne. Friends that have played in this tournament the last 2 years together. They also played in the Amundi Avion Championship, which was won by French player Céline Boutier. It was Celine's 4th LPGA title and her first major by winning $1 million. I could do a lot with $1 million. Céline also became the first French player to win this tournament for her home country of France. After sinking the final putt, Céline was part of a well-known tradition where when winning a contest, or a popular or well-known tradition, when you win a contest, she got a champagne shower. As far as the top 10, The team of Brooke M. Henderson and Lexi Thompson failed to make the cut in the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational. And Mikey, why did you line it up this way and break them down this way? I don't know. But there was no change in the top 10. 6 of the top 10 did play in the Evian Championship. And there is your top 10 lineup right there. Mikey, if you want to go ahead and read off that graphic for me.
All righty. Celine Boutier is now the number 1 player in the ladies after winning the Evian Championship. Jin Young Ko is ranked number 2. She tied for 20th. Ayaka Furore of Japan tied for 36th. We have a new number 4 player, Run Yin. She missed the cut in the Dow, and she missed the cut in the Evian Championship. She played in both. Alison Corpez, who we brought into the sports bar after she won the U.S. Open, she's been very well lately. Unfortunately, she's down at number 5 because she tied for 54th place. Lilia Vu tied for 42nd. Brooke M. Henderson, of course, she was the one that missed the cut Great Lakes Invitational, but she took 2nd place in the Evian Championship. And Ashley Buhai of New Zealand tied for 20th. Nellie Court of the USA tied for 9th. And Leona Maguire of Ireland tied for 42nd. So there's your top 10 in the
All right. And up next, the ladies are heading to Scotland for the Trust Golf Women's Scottish Open. Now, let's take a look at the special that are coming to open mic night between August and WrestleMania 40.
Be right.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 11 o'clock Eastern across the multiverse of media for Open Mic Night.
And if you haven't checked out Open Mic Night, wow.
It gets a little crazy sometimes, but it's a lot of fun. So definitely when you get an opportunity, check that out. Both on Casa D18, the Jeff Meacham Network, as well as some of our other channels. All right. Moving on.
The Women's World Cup has been going on, and we got lots of results, and a lot of things have been happening in the Women's World Cup. So let's take a look at now. This is all the results of what's been happening. Remember, if you're not caught up, all the teams were grouped. There are 8 groups. They play round robin, being each group has 4 teams. We did cover this in the season premiere from the last episode. Each group plays each other once for 6 total games. So in Group A, New Zealand, they are co-hosting the World Cup this year. They defeated Norway 1-0. Switzerland defeated Philippines 2-0. The Philippines then played New Zealand and won 1-0. Switzerland and Norway went to a draw, 0-0. Excuse me. In soccer, you say nil, you don't say 0. In the next game, Norway crushed the Philippines 6-0, and that led them to advance into the knockout stage, which we'll show later. And in the last game, New Zealand, the host country, tied with Switzerland. They needed to win that game to advance, and it didn't happen. So when you see a team struck through, that means in that game they got eliminated. So 1/2 of the host countries are out. Dori Lou, go ahead and rattle off Group B, please.
Oh, let's see. Group B. You want me to be able to read this? Tiny writing. Okay. Australia defeated Ireland 1-0. Nigeria tied Canada 0-0. Canada defeated Ireland and knocked them out 2-1. Nigeria defeating Australia 3-2. Australia defeated Canada and knocked them out 4-0. And Nigeria tied Ireland, who are out, with a 0-0.
Nigeria was an underdog in that group, and now they have advanced. In Group C, Spain defeated Costa Rica 3-0. Japan, they asserted their dominance. They defeated Zambia 5-0. 5 goals in a soccer match. That's almost the equivalent to scoring more than 4 goals in hockey. Japan then went on to knock out Costa Rica 2-0. Spain came up and they defeated Zambia 5-0. Zambia and Costa Rica eliminated at this point. So they played, essentially in the soccer world, what's called a friendly. It didn't matter who won, or you could say they played for pride. And in the final matchup, Japan defeated Spain 4-0. At that point, they were playing for the number 1 and number 2 spot in the group. Again, Japan dominated the group. On to Group D.
England defeated Haiti 1-0. Denmark defeating China 1-0. And England defeating Denmark 1-0. China then defeated Haiti and knocked them out, again 1-0. England defeated China 6-1, and Denmark also defeated Haiti, who has been knocked out 1-0.
Group E featured the back-to-back champions, the United States. And Raymond, we will discuss about your comment. United States, of course, defeated Vietnam 3-0. The Netherlands defeated Portugal 1-0. Then the United States tied the Netherlands at 1-1. Portugal defeated Vietnam 2-0 and eliminated them. The U.S. did get into the knockout stage with a tie or a win. They would have gotten in no matter what. As long as the U.S. didn't lose, they were going to get in. Then the Netherlands come along and crushed Vietnam 7-0. Now, what happened? Nothing really happened. I mean, you are the champions. I get that, but you don't have to be super dominant. Okay? There's no need to panic yet. USA is in the knockout stage. We will show that graphic after we finish the results of Group F, G, and H. There's no need to worry yet.
Yet.
They are in. They're going to defend their title. They have to win 3 more matches, the quarters, the semis, and the finals. Then they can win there. Back to the list, please. And go on with Group F.
Group F. France tied Jamaica, no score. Brazil defeated Panama 4-0. France then defeated Brazil 2-1. And Jamaica defeated Panama, knocking them out 0.
In Group G, Sweden defeated South Africa 2-1. Italy defeated Argentina 1-0. Argentina tied South Africa 2-2. And Sweden advanced, and they defeated Italy 5-0. And finally, Group H.
All right. Germany defeated Morocco 6-0. Colombia beating South Korea 2-0. Morocco again beating South Korea again getting beat, this time by Morocco 1-0. And Colombia turned around and defeated Germany 2-1.
So now in Group F, G, and H, they each have 1 match left. Each team has 1 match left against the other. When those 6 matches get done, the group stage is over and we go to the knockout stage. These teams have already qualified. Switzerland, Spain, the Netherlands, Japan, Norway, United States, Australia, Denmark, England, and Nigeria. Those teams are locked. The only way they're out is if they lose. It's your standard 90 minutes of play. If it's a tie at the end of 90, they go into overtime. If it's still tied into overtime, it goes down to penalty kicks. I really don't like the idea of kicks. I'd like to see them play sudden death, next goal wins. But I guess for safety reasons, they play for penalty kicks. Right now, it looks like the U.S. are going to play the Swedes, but that group is not finished yet. It's either going to be the Swedes or perhaps the Italians or perhaps the Argentines. It's one of those teams. They'll be fine. I really go ahead and bring the graphic up real quick one more time, please. Oh, yes. Let's do this one first. These are what the teams, this is how I would power rank them. Japan has done the best so far. They are undefeated, and they have scored 11 goals. England is right behind them with 3 wins and 8 goals. The Netherlands are 2 wins and a draw at 9 goals. Normally, I go by win-loss record first. You could argue, hey, the Netherlands have scored 9 goals. Why can't they be the number 2 team? Because they played to a draw. Spain is 2 wins and a loss at 8 goals. Australia is 2 wins and a loss at 7. Denmark is 2 wins at 3. And there's the United States, 1 win, 2 draws. Nigeria also has 1 win, 2 draws. Switzerland has 1 win and 2 draws. And Norway has the loss. But they've scored 6 goals. JJ, if you could, there we go. Now, if the USA, and this is now predictions, if the USA plays Sweden, they'll advance. Based on the rankings, Japan should have no problem, and this is just a prediction because they're doing so good. That is I believe that's the Norwegian flag there. I get the Norwegian flag and the Danish flag mixed up, but Japan is going to probably advance in that. That would set up a USA-Japan match in the next round. That might be where fans start to worry. Japan has they just battled through everybody, and they've got 11 goals in 3 games. That's where the USA is really going to have to buckle down, and they're really going to do that. Why is it that players with yellow cards can't play next game? That is the rule. If you get a yellow card in the World Cup, you are eliminated from the next game's play.
Explain what the yellow card is.
The yellow card is when a foul is, it's not super severe. It's almost kind of like a warning. The red card is the one you do not want. If you want the red card, you are out of the match. You cannot play anymore, and your team is down a player. Yellow card, you can still play in the game, but under World Cup rules, you do not play in the next match. It's
a penalty.
Penalty, basically. That's what it is. And of course, it happens when you get tackled, and sometimes the tackle is a little bit too severe, kind of like checking in hockey. If you check them too hard, that's why you get ejected from the game. So it's just a rule that they have to play. So don't worry on Team USA just yet. They're in the knockout round. We're going to take it one step at a time. And who knows? Maybe Japan could get upset. Yes. So basically it is like a 1-game suspension. Yes, they are. They can be on the sideline with their team, but they cannot play in the next game. Exactly. So don't worry on Team USA just yet. I think they'll be fine. I really do.
You have a lot of faith in our soccer team.
I do.
I'm sorry. I'm learning soccer a little bit, watching it a little bit here and there. It's just not a game that personally excites me, but I'm trying to follow and be aware of what's going on so that I can help keep our fans informed.
I mean, I even said, my country back here, they're not in. I don't want to watch World Women's. I don't care. It's my team. This is my country. But it's a big event that we have to cover now.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens in the next weekend. All right. Up next, we're making the left turns. World of NASCAR.
And last week, we were in Richmond, if I remember correctly.
This is Pocono, the week before.
Ah. You got me mixed up.
Denny Hamlin won the Pocono race because we didn't cover this race because we were talking about our sports movies that week.
That's right.
The Olympic. Oh, yes.
Next year.
Absolutely.
Next year.
So Denny Hamlin.
We'll start working up to that.
There you go. Denny Hamlin won the highpoint.com, the highpoint400.com. Tyler Reddick took second. Martin Truex Jr. took third. And Kevin Harvick took fourth. Ty Gibbs was fifth. Christopher Bell, sixth, Ricky Steinhaus, seventh. Harrison Burton, eighth. Eric Jones, ninth. And Chase Elliott, 10th. This last week, we're in Richmond. Let's bring up that. We'll bring up that graphic. And the top three were Chris Boucher and look at this: Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet, all in the top three. I have said many times in NASCAR, the Chevys run the track. Fords belong on the streets, Chevys on the track. Ford wins the Cookout 400 on the Richmond Raceway. And there's our good friend at RCR Racing, Kyle Busch, in third position. I will not say the number 4 person because Dori doesn't like him.
You can say the name. I mean, I'm not allergic to the name. I'm not going to break knives or grab a knife and try to stab somebody or anything like that. Come on.
Joey Logano took 4th. Ryan Preece took 5th. Brad Keselowski took 6th. Martin Truex Jr. took 7th. Eric Almirola took 8th. And, of course, the big number 3, that's Dori's driver. Number 3, Austin Dillon, took 9th place, and Kevin Harvick took 10th. What does this all mean for NASCAR? It's if Dodge is going to come back as a James asks, I wonder if Dodge is going to come back as a manufacturer. I don't know about Dodges as race cars. Dodge trucks in the truck series, yes, I can see that wholeheartedly in the Craftsman Truck Series. I don't see a Dodge going 180 miles an hour. I just can't. Shows what I know about cars, right?
Exactly.
Dori, what do you think? Can Dodge make a run in NASCAR?
Yeah, Dodge could actually make a run for it. They just have to find the right car first to promote to that. But that is somewhere I think still. It's going to be a few years before it happens, if it happens. A lot of people did not like Toyota coming in because, I'm sorry, Toyotas belong on the street. I grew up, it was Fords and Chevys. That's what was on the track, Fords and Chevys. We'll see what happens with in the years to come with Dodge. Yeah.
I'm sad that Toyota no longer sponsors the Grand Prix of Long Beach. That's how I liked Toyota. I mean, IndyCars, Toyotas, they deserve to do it. Bill Elliott drove a Dodge. Did he? Did he really? Bill Elliott drove a Dodge? I did not know that.
Hey, my first car was a Dodge, okay? I had a 70-something Dodge Dart, and you know what? I love that baby. It's not that thing that people drive now. That's not a Dodge Dart. What I had was an original,
There you go. So what are these racers driving for? The NASCAR Cup Series. These are the current standings, and each driver in bold has locked in their position. Martin Truex Jr. leads at 744 points. Denny Hamlin at 705. William Byron at 701. Christopher 653. Kyle Busch at 648. Now, Kevin Harvick is right behind him at 634, but for some reason, he has not yet clinched his spot. Ross Chastain is in at 626. Kyle Larson is at 619. Ryan Blaney is at 616. Joey Logano is at 609. Brad Keselowski is at 603. Tyler Reddick is at 602. Chris Boucher, who won the race, locked in his position at 598. Ricky Steinhaus Jr. is at 514. Bubba Wallace is at 506. And Michael McDowell is at 470. There are 4 races left. August 6th at the Firekeepers Casino in Michigan. August 13th at the Brickyard in Indianapolis. August 20th at the Glen in New York. And the season ends back at Daytona for the Coke Zero 400. Coke Zero Sugar 400. So the top 16 drivers, they are in the round of 16. 4 races. Who's ever in spots 1 through advance. So 12 through 16 are on the bubble. 4 more races, or 3 more races, I believe. I believe it's a 12 race playoff. Then it gets whittled down to 8. Then I believe they come out here to Bristol for the night race. They go down to 4. The final race of the season, regardless of who wins the final race, usually it's in Phoenix. Whichever one of the 4 that are left does the best. So if you are one of the top 4 and you do better than the other 3, you win the NASCAR Cup Series. You don't have
And
to
you don't
win
even
the
have
race.
to win that race. You just have to have the points.
You just have to have
And
it.
yes, Mr. Hebert there, Let's Go Ross. So I guess you're a Chastain fan. I can get behind that. Chastain's not a bad driver. And let's see, he's with Trackhouse Racing. And that was actually a team I followed for a while when Bobby Labonte was still racing. So I can get behind Trackhouse a little bit.
He says
All
Fords,
right.
Chevy, Pontiacs, and Dodges were huge in the 90s and early 2000s in the Winston Nextel Cup. It was during the boom period of NASCAR. Thank you for that stat, James. All right,
Yes,
Dori,
thank
you've got the Xfinity Series quickly, and I didn't do a graphic for these. I'm sorry. Yes, that was Sta Boy approved. Go ahead and
All right.
tell us about the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series, please.
So I've got just the results and the standings for Xfinity and Craftsman Truck Series from the Richmond races. So we're going to start with Xfinity, and I'm sorry, no, I'm not. Mikey's backwards. You start with the bottom and work your way up to the top for that anticipation, okay?
Fair
So
enough.
number 10 was Brandon Jones driving the number 9 Chevy for Junior Motorsports, followed by AJ Allmendinger in the number 10 Chevy for Colleague Racing. Josh Bilicki, I have a tough time with this name because it's just kind of funny. Bilicki, Bilicki, Bilicki. A 91 Chevy for DGM Racing. Then you've got Kaz Krala, 26 Toyota for Sam Hunt Racing. Josh Berry in the number 8 Chevy for, again, Junior Motorsports, followed by Riley Herbst, or just ahead of whatever. The number 98 Ford for Stuart Haas Racing. Then we jump to number 4 with Sage Karam, 24 Toyota, Alpha Prime Racing. Finishing number 3, Austin Hill in the number 21 Chevy for RCR. Then you've number 2, Parker Kligerman, number 48 Chevy for Big Machine Racing. And for that race was Sam Meyer in the number 1 Chevy for Junior Motorsports. Okay, and I have their top 16 standings because I believe they do their finals the same way as the Cup Series does. So starting again, working our way from the bottom to the top. Number 16 is Kaz Gralla. 15 is Brett Moffitt. 14, you've got Brandon Jones, then Jeb Burton, Parker Kligerman, Sheldon Creed, Riley Herbst, Sammy Smith, Daniel Hemrick, Chandler Smith, Sam Mayer, Josh Berry, Cole Custer, and your top 3 are Justin Allgaier, Joe Nemechek, and Austin Hill. And again, Austin Hill in that RCR, for that RCR team. So as Mikey mentioned earlier, I follow Austin Dillon, the number 3 for Cup Series. He races for Richard Childress Racing, or RCR. And so I kind of follow RCR as a whole. So I'm going, yay. It may not be yay for my team in the Cup Series, but yay for my team in Xfinity.
There you go.
All right. And then following that, we've got the Craftsman Truck Series. The top 10 finish for them, starting in number 10, was William Solik, the number 1 Toyota for Tricon Garage. Number 9 was Grant Effinger, the number 23 Chevy for GMS Racing. Then you've got Nicholas Sanchez in the number 2 Chevy for Rev Racing. Matt Crafton in the 88 Ford for Thor Sport Racing. Corey Hyman, the number 11 Toyota for Tricon Garage. Matt Mills in the 51 Chevy for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Jake Garcia in the 35 Chevy for McAnally Heigelman Racing. Number 3 was Zane Smith, the 38 Ford Front Row Motorsports. Number 2 is Ty Majeski in the 98 Ford for Thor Sport Racing. And your winner of the Craftsman Truck Series for this past week was Carson Hocevar in the 42 Chevy for Nice Motorsports. Let's see. And then they have a top 10 for their playoffs, and I have that for you as well. And Matt Crafton starts that one in the number 10 with Matt Di Benedetto in the 25 Chevy for Rackley WAR. Nick Sanchez takes number 8. So he's winning and he's maintaining his top 10. Let's see. Then we've got Ben Rhodes in the 99 4 for Thor Sport Racing. Ty Majeski also for Thor. Back to Brett Enfinger. Took that number 9 finish, but he is currently in 5th for the playoffs for GMS Racing. Christian X is in 4th place for the playoffs currently, the number 19 Chevy for McAnally Heigelman Racing. Is it racing or motorsports? I didn't write it down right. My apologies. Then number 3 is Carson Hocevar in the 42 Chevy for Nice Motorsports. Zane Smith. I haven't really seen his name much lately, but Zane Smith finished 3rd, but in the playoffs, he's number 2. And Corey Heim is your number 1 for the playoffs in that number 11 Toyota for Tricon Garage. And yep, everybody is heading to Michigan. Michigan? Is that what we said?
Yes.
Yep. Michigan this coming weekend. All 3 series will be racing in Michigan.
And all 3 graphics will be done next week, I promise.
Craftsman Truck Series is not running this coming weekend. It will be the following weekend in Indianapolis.
And
so
all
no
3
Craftsman Truck Series.
I promise all 3 graphics will be done. I'm learning new stuff. The graphics are it's a very cool process that I was very lucky to learn, and I get to do that now this week. I totally understand exactly. Yeah.
We know, Jeff.
I totally understand what Jeff was going through each week that he did this for the past 3 seasons, and I thank him for that. It's a great process. It's kind of fun, getting all the pictures and everything together, but it is also time consuming. But at the end, when you see them, it's satisfying. Up next is basketball. Let's see how the ladies are doing.
Basketball. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to be doing that right now, am I? The WNBA. So our women's basketball. Let's see. We've got the Las Vegas Aces, are 23-2. They are your number 1 team for the WNBA this season thus far. It's a 40-game season. Your top 8 teams will qualify for playoffs regardless of their conference. All right. So following the Las Vegas Aces, we go to the New York Liberty, who are 19-6. Connecticut Sun are 18-7. Your Dallas Wings are 14-11. So are the Atlanta Dream, but the Wings have an 86.2 points per game, where the Dream are only 84.8. Then we come to my Minnesota Lynx. They're 13-13. Hey, they're 50%. We're still in there. We're still in the top 8. It's all good. Chicago Sky. I'm sorry, I skipped the Washington Mystics. Washington Mystics are at 12-13. With the Chicago Sky being 10-15. The Los Angeles Sparks are down there at 9-16. The Phoenix Fever, is it Phoenix?
Yes.
Thank you.
Indiana Fever.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Indiana Fever are at 6-18. I knew I missed one somewhere. Oh, that's because I have games going on right now too. Okay. The Phoenix Mercury as well as the Seattle Storm are at 619. However, the Mercury have an 80.6 points per game, as well, and the Storm are only at 78.7 points per game. There are several games happening right now. I'm kind of watching a little bit.
Indeed. JJ has a good point. That's the lowest the Sparks have ever been. When the WNBA first started, Lisa Leslie and the Sparks, they were almost, you could say, they were following and riding the Lakers' coattails because, you know, the Sparks, the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Kings, it's all in the same building, I believe. So something's got to give LA a boost.
Something somewhere. But right now, the Minnesota Lynx and Minnesota and Connecticut are currently almost at the end of their second quarter, with Connecticut winning 35-30 so far. And also with 0.7 seconds left in their second quarter, Phoenix and Indiana, the Fever are winning that one currently 46.
You see, you even get live stats during a live sports bar. I love it.
All right, so now
the men are not playing yet, but that does not mean that the men in the NBA cannot have news.
True, very true.
As you see here, Bronny James, who is the son of star center on the Lakers, LeBron, had a cardiac arrest. Bronny is entering his first year at USC. He was practicing at their facility. Sadly, cardiac arrest. But don't worry, he is A-OK. He is fine. This happened on July 25th. But what also is very scary is that he's only 18 years old. Cardiac arrest in teenagers are rare and are usually due to undiagnosed underlying heart conditions. He did spend time in the ICU. He is home recovering. LeBron sent out a tweet saying, "I want to thank the countless people sending my family love and prayers. We feel you, and I'm so grateful. Everyone doing great. Everyone is doing great. We have our family together, safe and healthy, and we feel your love. We'll have more to say when we're ready, but I want to tell everyone how much your support has meant to all of us. #JamesGang." And that was back on July 27th. And a video has surfaced of Bronny. He's a bit of a piano player. So for him to sit at the piano while recovering from a cardiac event, that tells me he's on the mend. He's going to be A-OK. The only small little problem is the underlying things. We can't stress this enough. Get checked out. Routine checks on your heart. And we also can have an update on with DeMar Hamlin. If you remember last season, the scariest moment.
We're not at football yet.
It's a teaser.
Okay, fine.
I mean, he had his injury, but we'll get to that in a bit. But at least Bronny is doing okay. Now, let's check out what the Renegade has in store for the members-only section of the Casa D18 Studios channel for the month of August. Be right back.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. For $5 a month, you can subscribe to the members-only section of the Casa D18 Studios channel, where you get all that exclusive wrestling content on a weekly basis. Plus, you'll be able to go to the community tab and vote for which classic SummerSlam match you would like to see the Simple Man Noah Foster and I do a retro call for. This is the current poll going with 100% of the votes right now going to SummerSlam 04, Randy Orton versus Chris Benoit. Still got the better part of a week yet to vote and change that outcome if you don't want to see us call that match. But you can only get there if you pay $5 and subscribe to the members-only section of the Casa D18 Studios channel.
Indeed. Another big sport that we like to cover in the sports bar is hockey. Hockey is still 2 months away. Season happens, and just decide, well, it's time to hang it up. Boston Bruins captain Patrice Bergeron has announced his retirement. He said in a tweet that it was also important for me to be a good example and lead that way on and off the ice. I think that the one thing I'll definitely say is left everything out there. I have no regrets on anything, and I gave my all. I didn't necessarily need to leave on top of my game, but I'm glad I am. Of course, hockey has a basis in France, so merci Patrice is possibly trending on Twitter. And as you can see, there are his stats. Patrice played 18 seasons as a Bruin from 2005 to 2023. He won the Stanley Cup in 2011. He got to the Eastern Conference Championship in 2013 and 2019. The Bruins did not win the cup that year. He won the President's Cup, which is the team that earns the most points based off of wins. And of course, the Bruins did that this last year. They also did it in 2013 and 2019. He is a two-time gold medalist in the Winter Olympics in Vancouver and Sochi. He is a six-time Frank J. Selke Trophy for being the most skilled in defense. He also won the King Clancy Memorial Trophy for his leadership and humanitarian award. He also won the Marc Messier Leadership Award. Both those titles are almost the same. He also won the NHL Foundation Player Award for community service. He went to the All-Star Game 3 times. He played in 1,294 NHL games, scoring 417 goals and 613 assists. So one of my captains from my fantasy team is gone. James says, Patrice taking my Uncle Coach Gary's motto right here. That's awesome. Be a good man on and off the ice. I don't think I brought him into my team until towards the end. The stick tap. Yes. The stick tap is, if you do not know what that is in hockey, when players are on the ice, they do it out of respect for their other players. It could be for anything. It could be for leaving the ice, a good goal, a fight. Their sticks are over the bench and they just tap. A fallen hero in remembrance. That is their version of respect. So again, my fantasy team, I had Bergeron on there. That means I'm a player down to fantasy hockey, but that will not come back for another 2 months or so. So
I know one of my goalies just resigned. So
Mark?
Oh, well, okay. He wasn't on my fantasy team, but for the Minnesota Wild, Philip Gustafson has just signed a 3-year contract.
There you go, 3 years
to be with the Wild. So I'm ecstatic because he did excellent last season. He really did. I might have to pick him up for my team.
Indeed, he does. Another big topic we like to talk about is America's pastime, baseball. If you saw the show from 2 weeks ago, we talked about Ellie De La Cruz, who stole 3 bases in 1 inning. Well,
it was pretty amazing.
Indeed, it was. And we're getting the graphic up, I believe. Or I think
no, that's the stick tap.
Oh,
very nice.
Very clever. How many glass?
That is Scat Kill approved.
Together, we can get up from anything. Believe.
Very nice.
Was that from Miracle? Was that from one of our movies from last? I think that was. I love it. All right.
By the way, it is very much Stat Girl approved. Thank you, JJ.
Good. Ellie De La Cruz, who we brought into the Stat Bar 2 weeks ago, who stole 3 bases. He's back. And basically what happened, he's playing in Milwaukee. He comes up to bat. There's the first picture. Hits a nice shot to the center fielder. And as you can see, he robs him of a home run. On his next at bat, in the second inning, with a powerful swing, there's the result. Now, if you can't read the sign in center field, that's okay. But it says that he almost hit a home run in the first inning, but didn't. The Brewers decided to play a little joke on Ellie De La Cruz. Now, Ellie De La Cruz did not know what was going on the scoreboard. He was dealing with the pitch. He did not, through his interpreter, because English is a second language to him. He is Hispanic or Latino. I don't remember which one. But he had no idea. He just hit the ball. He also hit it so high, it had an apex of 96 feet. That is almost to the height of a golf ball. Ball is maybe 3 or 4 golf balls together. There was no way the center fielder was going to grab that ball. So the Brewers decided to play a little trick on De La Cruz, and it backfired. Dominican.
Tried to, at least.
Dominican. Today is also a big day in baseball because it is the trade deadline, meaning no more trades. The Angels declared that Ohtani-san, Shohei Ohtani, will not be traded at the deadline. Many tweets came out. The GM, Artie Moreno, says, we are going all in and we are keeping Ohtani in Los Angeles for a playoff run. And believe me, the Angels need this because they are currently 3.5 games back in the wild card. They did beat the Braves last night, which makes me a whole lot happy because I've got a friend at work. He loves his Georgia Bulldogs and he loves his Atlanta Braves. And I tried to tell him, I'm like, hey, Angels Braves last night. Oh, he's like, he does the chopping. I'm like, it's not going to happen. And for once, I was right. Victory is mine.
Very good.
Very good.
In other trade news, Justin Verlander is leaving the Mets and going to the Astros.
What?
Yep.
What are you thinking?
Is returning to Houston. They also have Max Scherzer going to the Rangers, Mike Lorenzen joining the Phillies, Jack Flaherty heading to the Orioles. Let's see, what else ones did I see that popped out? Yankees acquiring right-hander Spencer Howard from Texas Rangers. San Diego Padres acquiring right-handed reliever Scott Barlow from the Royals. The Red Sox are acquiring infielder Luis Urias from the Brewers. The Marlins are acquiring first baseman Josh Bell from the Guardians for infielder Jean Segura and infield prospect Khalil Watson. Let's see.
I did Instagram chat with Natalie. She likes Noah Syndergaard. He went to the Boston. I'm like, I was waiting for a response for her on that one. And I believe a couple of the Dodgers were actually coming back to LA.
Yeah, I think so. I'm scanning real quick here. Kenyon Middleton is leaving the White Sox and going to the Yankees.
Upgrade.
The Diamondbacks are acquiring outfielder Tommy Pham from the Mets.
Downgrade.
The Rangers are acquiring Austin Hedges from the Pirates. That's their catcher.
Upgrade.
White Sox from the Rays. Yeah. Luis Patino is going to the White Sox.
Downgrade.
Leaving the Rays. There's a few in here. Let's see. The Marlins have acquired power hitting infielder Jake Berger from the White Sox for left-handed pitcher prospect Jake Eder. The Dodgers and Detroit Tigers had a trade in place for Eduardo Rodriguez, but he invoked his 10-team no-trade clause that included the Dodgers, and the deal is now dead. I'm sorry, I just realized I was shaking my screen. So
that's an interesting play then. If it's in his contract, why would you even try to trade him in the first place?
Yeah, good question.
Indeed. James says that the Red Sox are the only R that Bostonians can pronounce correctly without forgetting it. Let me stop being a wise guy and get my keys to my car. You don't say car. Like
awesome, James.
This is a beer. This is not a beer. It's a beer.
It's a beer.
It's a beer. Good one, James.
Astros, Justin Verlander, yada yada yada. Next,
yeah, that's a huge downgrade.
The Blue Jays acquired Paul DeJong from the Cardinals. Padres are acquiring left-handed starter Rich Hill and first baseman, I apologize for messing up these names, Ji-Man Choi from the Pirates. The Rockies and the Braves have made the first deal of the deadline day, with Colorado sending veteran reliever Brad Hand to Atlanta for right-handed prospective Alex Barger.
I'm laughing at James.
Oh, let's see.
Any others, or should we?
And those are the big ones I'm seeing right now.
All righty. Speaking of James, of course, hopefully you'll see him this weekend, because we're going to take a look at the watch-along coverage that's coming up across the Jeff Meacham Network, multiverse of media. Saturday, SummerSlam. Keep an eye out for this.
All right.
And of course, you can catch SummerSlam as well as all the rest of those watch-alongs across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media. You can find all of those on any of the channels pictured right here. So make sure you subscribe, turn the bells on so you get notified when they go live. So you can check out the Simple Man Noah Foster, the Renegade J.J. Williams, and or the He-Man James Hebert as they call the action, give live reactions, and give some predictions about the shows in question.
All right, and I'm seeing James is confirming, yes, he's going to be our color guy for SummerSlam. Noah's going to be at the event. I'm hoping Noah checks in with us when he can during the event so we can get his live, reactions.
If you have not seen one of our watch-alongs, you are missing out, because I tell you, we go haywire. Just imagine, and I'm gonna play Paul Heyman at this point. Just imagine if Jey Uso gets the pinfall on Roman Reigns this Saturday. Kaboom! Nuclear. I mean it. I mean, there have been when Sammy and Kevin won the tag belts at WrestleMania, it was a moment. Everyone was excited, everyone was crying, happy, insane. When Cody Rhodes opened his jacket to show that his entire left side of his body was purple, we all freaked out.
Oh, yeah.
Top that, WWE. Top that. You can, if you have to find any other, come back to this channel. Come back to this channel and watch. I will say that right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've waited the whole summer. It is finally time to pop open your beer glasses, break open your wine bottles, as Dori gets something like that. It is time. Yes, skull indeed. The meat and potatoes of Sta Boy Sports Bar featuring Dori Lou is NFL football. We've been pushing this long enough, and our color debate person is not here yet. Where are you? So in the meantime, let's take a look at this first topic that you and I can talk about. Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, has said in a quote, this is legit, "I won't have 10 interceptions this year." The stats on the right, from Dak all the way down to Justin Herbert, are last season's stats. So Dak 15, Davis Mills of Houston also threw 15, Kirk Cousins of Dori's Vikings 14, Derek Carr of the Raiders 14, Josh Allen of the Bills 14, Matt Ryan of the Colts 13, Aaron Rodgers, who is now playing for the Jets, 12, Patrick Mahomes, championship at Super Bowl quarterback, 12, Joe Burrow, we have news on him that's coming up next, 12, Russell Wilson of the Broncos, 11, Geno Smith of the Seahawks, 11, Mac Jones, 11, Justin Fields, 11, Justin Herbert, 10. I intentionally cut off the next person's name because I've been bashing him for 3 years, but he only threw 9 last year. And now we have our special guest debater. He's been in the stat bar, in the sports bar many times, and he's an honest and good friend. Let's bring him in. DJ Bayside Hyde, also known as DJ Mud King. There is Zach. Welcome to the sports bar. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for, I know you've been chomping at the bit to talk football. So here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for my opening act, Stat Boy. No, I'm joking.
Oh, no. We are not changing the title of this one, sir.
If he's the opening act, what am I?
Well,
Don't answer that.
Another time.
Okay.
How are you, fine people?
All right,
We are
so we have
good.
a topic. We have a topic on the bar that Dak Prescott is saying, "I will only throw no more than 10 interceptions." What does this say? Is this becoming arrogant? Is this saying that he's sick and tired of making mistakes and he's promised? What's your first thought on this?
My first thought is, I guess he's saying that his problems stem from Kellen Moore, who is now gone. That's my first instinct, is it's his offensive coordinator's fault. But, it's Dak Prescott. I mean, I love Jeff, but
Don't blame the offensive coordinator. Blame the quarterback.
Yeah, I love it. It drives me nuts when the team is doing poorly, so they fire the coaches. Look at how much of it is the coach's fault and how much is the team not acting like a team.
Exactly. We've brought this up many times. If Dori is the coach and I am the quarterback and Zach is the offensive coordinator and the offensive coordinator tells Dori to tell me what to do, who to throw to, and I throw to somebody else and the ball gets picked off and they lose their job, not cool. I need to be the one. They need to bench me. They need to punish me. They need to put me on the bench for throwing that football.
I wouldn't trust you to throw a football anyways. I'd be doing it.
I can throw a football. Thank you.
I bet you I can throw a better one.
This is the alcohol talking. Unfortunately, yeah, it's probably what I'm telling you lies. Unfortunately, when this tweet came out and when Dak said this is a stat I do not want to keep track of. I do not want to have to go to Dak Prescott's Twitter page, or excuse me, his X page. That's a whole other rant that we can talk about at a later time. But
exactly,
if you get picked off, you get picked off. It happens. If you get picked off and you get a pick six after it, you, as James once said in the opening, you get one. Okay, you get one. You can make a mistake once in a while. 10 interceptions in 18 weeks. That means that's a pretty good stat there. I mean, you're not going to be perfect. Let's face it. This isn't NFL Blitz. This isn't Madden where you can turn off interceptions. They're going to happen. It's a mathematical fact. If you have a great game, fine. But 10 or less, you want to be the Justin Herbert of the NFL when you're the powerful Dak Prescott? I don't think so.
I will say this.
Go
if
ahead.
Dak Prescott throws below 10 interceptions, I will hand him the MVP trophy myself.
Well, that's not your say. That's the media's saying.
Oh, that should just be common tread.
That'd be on every NFL bucket. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The next.
But we will kind of be tracking those stats in the way we give our information out. We talk about how many yards they threw, how many times they threw, how many completions they made. I include those how many interceptions and how many times they got sacked. That information is going to get tracked during our shows. So whether we intentionally plan on tracking it or not, it's going to get tracked. We're going to have those numbers.
Renegade just came up with a beautiful idea. Year-end awards. The quarterback with the least amount of interceptions that played the most of the season. If it's not Dak Prescott, I'm sorry. All I can say on that. Topic number 2. Coming up next, we have number dos. The next topic is, please, our own version of the ESPYs. There you go. Justin Fields has declared to being among the best in rushing quarterbacks, saying, quote, "I'm definitely in the top 5." Well, he didn't give himself enough credit because, as you can see by those numbers, he led the league in quarterbacks that rush with over 1,100 yards. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Daniel Jones didn't even come close. They were all 400 yards behind. So, Justin, give yourself a little bit of more credit. But let's look at this rushing versus passing. Sometimes, when the offensive line and the defensive lines battle and there's a hole, the quarterback is going to take it. But is it worth it?
It's a game and stuff, and not all your quarterbacks can rush. Your history is usually your quarterbacks are either passers. It's either a game in the air or a game on the ground.
Indeed.
Not all your quarterbacks can do both. So you need to take that into account with that question.
It's very true. You got two, like she said, you got two type of quarterbacks. You got Michael Vick and you got Peyton Manning. I mean, Peyton was never really a runner, but he was a dominant passer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Michael Vick will go out there and run for 2,000 yards in a game if you let him. But,
Yep.
Michael Vick, there's a name from the past.
Oh, yeah. But it's becoming a little bit more seen. I'm not going to say common, but more seen that you have a quarterback who can do both. But it's still not a common denominator.
Yeah, I mean, you got to find that hole in the defense, and if that opportunity comes up and there's just nobody available, do what Paul Reck and crew does, and I'll do it myself.
Exactly.
Flush right through it. I'm not saying you're going to go all the way. I mean, if you're on your own 30-yard line and, I don't see a quarterback going 70 yards. I don't even know if that stat has even taken place yet. That'd be a great homework lesson for me. 10, 20 yards max, because as soon as they see trouble, they are going to slide and they are going to hit the ground and they are going to stop at that point. Unless, of course, you're Justin Fields.
Right. And the league now is they're kind of going like towards I want to say like a college pro style type offense where it's heavily lean on run pass option. It's kind of like you're playing Madden now. Run pass option's like a major thing. And people are doing that on the game and coaches are seeing it on, everywhere. And they're like, well, let's try to build our offense around that.
Indeed. Dori Lou, go ahead.
Okay, so to answer your question, the Raiders, when they were in Oakland.
That's a long time ago.
Terrell Pryor, number 2, quarterback. November 5th of 1989. Oh, that was Bo Jackson's. Okay. So Bo Jackson had done 92 yards rushing on November 5th of 89. Pryor beat that by 1 yard.
Whoa.
Quarterback rushing, 93-yard. It says 93-yard rushing touchdown on the first play from scrimmage. Is the longest touchdown run by a quarterback in the NFL.
I don't think that record's ever going to be broken.
Yes.
Mikey, stat fact.
Yeah, that's absolutely. That's definitely Stat Girl improved. I mean, she did that in record time. Absolutely. Without a doubt. I am severely impressed.
Terrell Pryor was a wide receiver prior to that run. And that run came out of the Wildcat formation, which ended up turning him into a quarterback.
There you go.
So
we'll see what happens. Let's see if he can repeat the season. Topic number 3. USA Today did this. We tried to do this last season, failed miserably. USA Today has made a very bold prediction for the NFL season. Let's take a look at this. They are saying that the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Jaguars, and the Bills are all going to win in their divisions, with the Ravens, the Jets, because they now have Aaron Rodgers, and the Dolphins are going to be the wild card teams. In the NFC, look at the NFC North. They are giving a ton of credit. And believe me, we've done it. We did it last year. We did give some credit to the Lions, but they are saying that the Lions are going to win the division over the Bears, the Packers, and the Vikings. Don't worry, Dori, but we're going to let you go to that one for certain. And then, of course, look at the next one, the NFC South, the Saints winning at 9-8. The Bucks 5-12 since they've lost Brady. I mean, USA Today is seriously giving the Bucks no credit whatsoever because Brady's gone. And then, of course, in the NFC East, they're saying that the Eagles are going to repeat and win at 12-5, with the Cowboys, the Falcons, and the Seahawks all becoming division champions. JJ, if you can shrink that down and keep us in the top 3, that'd be great. That way we can go team by team, perhaps. Dori, I'm gonna let you. This NFC North, the Bears, the Packers, and the Vikings all finishing at the same 7-10. What do you think about that?
No, well, I don't know who the Packers have.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, there we go. Okay, go ahead and repeat that. If you're back, Dori. If you're not back, okay, go ahead. Are you frozen, Dori? Oh, she's still okay.
Okay, there I am.
Okay, good.
All right. So, again, not knowing or backing up, not knowing currently who the quarterback's starting or even, who are they planning on starting quarterback for Green Bay? That's going to be a big effect. With Aaron Rodgers gone, yes, I think they're going to be down some. I don't think they're going to be one of the top teams in that division this season, just because they're going to be doing all kinds of adjusting with a new quarterback. And sometimes it takes a season or two for that to happen.
It's okay. It's working. It's fine.
Okay. Now.
There it goes. There you go.
Minnesota, that'll work. Chicago and Minnesota. I know Kirk Cousins is not the best quarterback. He's not doing a bad job. He's not doing a great job, but he's not doing a bad job. We surprised everybody last year. But then, of course, the Vikings being the Vikings, as long as I've been following them, we get up to one of those, get that far, and something happens and we blow it. Yes, I'm saying we because I've been a Vikings fan since I started watching sports. And that was a lot of years ago. We won't discuss that. The Vikings need to come back and show that we still are a contender. We're not just this, the phonies that they all called us last year.
Agreed.
Even though we made it, to playoffs, it's what the Vikings have done in the past. They get so far and then something happens that they blow it. It's like, what happens to your heads at this point? Have they gotten too big because you've made it this far? Or have you lost your focus? I don't know. Detroit really surprised us last season, and I would put them definitely above the Packers with Justin Fields still in Chicago, right? As far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Packers are going to be the bottom of that list, but I think it's going to be a fight between Chicago, Detroit, and Minnesota for the conference win there.
Zach, what do you think about the Saints possibly going 9-8 this season? Can they do it?
It'll be a cold day in hell.
Oh, wow! He was so adamant that he left the studio there. Okay, well, if we get him back, we get him back. Raymond Williams has asked, "Do you see Dallas Cowboys winning the conference?"
There's a lot of changes going on.
Oh, James has said,
I don't know what the hell that was.
Oh, you probably upset yourself that you just hit the wrong button. James has said the day that there's a person that can pass like Brady or Manning and run like Mike is the day the NFL has an all-time quarterback, but it's fantasy at this point right now.
I'll agree.
So Zach, go ahead and rant a little bit. Okay. There's Raymond's questions. Do you see Dallas winning the conference? We'll let Zach talk about New Orleans, and then I will go ahead and answer that question about Dallas. Although that should be Jeff, but he's not here today. Go ahead, Zach.
I mean, it really depends on what happens with Kamara and the suspensions, and if we could stay healthy. I mean, look at what's going on in all these other training camps right now. And
we're getting to that.
Huh?
We're getting to that. That's next. So kind of save a little bit on that.
So we signed. I mean, if Derek Carr is, let's see, if Derek Carr is even, a halfway, let's say 3/4 of the way of a Pro Bowl quarterback, sky's the limit. But if not, I think, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's Bryce's division to lose.
Whew. Wow. Okay. Dallas winning the conference. Wow. I want to see that happen. I would love for that to happen. Of course, Dallas did get to the playoffs, and they did get past the first round. So if you're going on the progression, getting better and better and better, yes. But of course, with Dak saying, all this pressure is going to go on Dak because of his statement, And of course, the one guy that is probably going to call Dak out more than me, Stephen A. Smith of ESPN. He got him good last season. I get it. I'm surprised I have not found anything that's saying that, well, you said you were going to do this. He's notorious for that, but I'm not going to go into that, man. I'm almost leaning towards a no. I want to see it as a fan, as a statistician. I don't really see it, so I'm bleeding on the no for the Cowboys. I really would. I'll eat crow. I will eat crow if it happens. I will praise them. I'll jump on their bandwagon like I've done the past 2 years. But I don't know. Maybe if Jeff comes into the sports bar next week, we will let him handle that question as well. Topic. Yep, there we go. There it is. Sta Boy Cottontail. Yep, I got it. All right. Now, as Zach alluded to, injuries have been running like crazy, and we're not even at week 1 in the preseason. Hall of Fame game Thursday, 8:00. Jets and Browns starts the preseason. Should have had that in. But, of course, the big news, Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, number 9, carted off the field with a right calf sprain. Big problem there for Cincinnati. It's when it happens in the preseason, it really, really stings. But he'll be fine. He doesn't have to go for surgery or anything like that. Unfortunately, surgery is going to take place for Dolphins cornerback Jalen Ramsey. He tore his meniscus. It does require surgery. He's not going to come back until mid-season. The Cowboys got bit by the injury bug. Donovan Wilson has a right calf strain, not as bad as Joe Burrow, about 4 to 6 weeks. Kadarius Toney of the Chiefs, his meniscus is partially torn. They're possibly thinking that he'll be ready for the season opener. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he's day-to-day. He's just got a nagging injury in his right leg, so it's a possibility that he'll be fine. Bills running back Nyheim Hines, he is out. He completely tore his ACL in his left leg. He will not play. And Trey Turner just signed with the Saints. The good old-fashioned quadricep injury that one day, and he is done. He is out for the whole season. Injuries happen. We know this is part of the game. But to have it happen
and the Broncos just lost a wide receiver because they think he tore his Achilles tendon. Tim Patrick of the Broncos.
Yep.
It's just
amazing.
And they just released one of their wide receivers because he has heart condition issues. KJ Hamler.
Yep. Injuries galore. It puts a small damper on it, and it will certainly affect what is coming up next. We've been playing this game for 3 years, and it's coming back. It's the good old-fashioned pick'em contest. The rules of the game are simple. Yes, pat yourself on the back, Dori. We know. Dori here is the reigning back-to-back season regular season champion. She did the best in the regular season. The rules of the game are simple. All you have to do is pick the winner of each matchup. No point spreads, no handicaps, no +3, +4, -2, -1. Just a straight out winner. The preseason games will be done as practice games. So they go out, you just pick the winner, and we see what happens. Also, finally, after debating a long period of time, it is official. This season, we are dipping our no, Raymond, it does not cost. It is absolutely free. There is no money involved whatsoever.
It's all bragging rights.
All for fun, and it's all bragging rights. No money involved, because if you play for money, it takes the fun out of it. I'm more of a fun guy than a money guy right now. So no, you can absolutely join in and play. All you got to do is just declare that you're in, and I do the rest. I add you to the group page, and you're in. But the big announcement, and this
awesome.
guy,
Thanks, Raymond.
He's in. How about that? We have a new player. All right, Raymond's in. Good job. I'll get your information and add you to the list and all that good stuff. Raymond's in. Whoop-de-doo. But the big announcement that this guy down here in the bottom knows about, he is a 9-time fantasy sports champion. He's going for number 10, and this could be his 10th ring. Sta Boy Sports Bar is officially dipping into the fantasy football pool. I have designed, it is a custom sports league, a custom fantasy league. Jay, if you've got the graphic, go ahead and put it up. But it is a points league based on performance. Rules will be revealed next week, and we're going to see where this goes. There we go. There it is, the official announcement. Sta Boys NFL Pick'em contest returns for the 2023 season. The rules are simple again. Correctly predict the winner of each NFL game during the course of the 2023 season. And then the next graphic comes up.
Patience, Mikey.
I know. I'm trying to stall. There it is. Sta Boys Fantasy Football Contest debuts for the 2023 season. Custom rules, total point league with head-to-head matchups, depending on how many teams play. Rules are on next week's show. I'm already assuming that the champion down there is going to be in. Zach, is that a confirmation?
Are you kidding me?
And apparently we have another player. Raymond's in too. He's in as well. Of course, I'm going to play in my own league. Dori, you're in?
Yeah.
4 teams on the first day of announcements. I love it.
And we haven't even seen the rules yet. What are we getting into?
We haven't seen the rules yet. All I know, I will send out this teaser. Performance equals points. It's just like hockey. But all those graphics will come up next week. Go ahead, Zach. You look like you're chomping at the bit ready to say something. What?
Did you name your team yet?
No, not yet.
Do you want to declare what your team name is right now?
I told you what mine is.
Say it.
My fantasy team is Betty White's Revenge.
Okay.
Betty White's Revenge. JJ has declared he's in for Pick'em. When he sees the rules next week, he'll make his decision. Betty White's Revenge, the BWR. Oh my God, dude.
And you know what's funny? Mikey. So
you've made money in fantasy, right? Did you freeze? You've made money on fantasy, right?
Oh, yes.
You ain't making money in this one.
Are we doing head-to-head?
There will be head-to-head matchups based on how many teams enter. So we're already at 4 teams. So there are 18 weeks. So right now, it's about we would each play each other 4 times at least with 2 bye weeks.
Can I make a suggestion?
What is it?
Sure.
I mean, seeing as how, you're going to be here week 1. So I feel like it's only fitting that, we go head-to-head week 1.
I will consider
Got
it.
a point.
I'll consider it, and we will discuss it. Well, fair, I promise.
Fair enough.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end. We are almost done. No, Raymond, we do not use. You use ESPN. you do. We use ESPN for the stats, but no, this is a custom league. I do all the work myself. It's custom rules. It's basically, the problem that I have with ESPN and Yahoo Sports and every other fantasy football league that are sponsored by big teams or big corporations, they don't give you a definitive well said, James. They don't give you a definitive set of rules as to how to play. It's, there is a standard for fantasy football, but I figured making my own I toned it down and I made it as simple as I could with hockey. We're going to pick players by way of a draft. There will be a draft either the 15th, the 22nd, or the 29th. We have not determined that yet, but it will be a standard draft. We'll all get together. We'll all be on screen, and we'll do it. Go back into the archives and find out how we did when we did fantasy hockey. That will absolutely show you what it is. And then we did a free for all after that, where everybody just picked players like crazy, first come, first serve. But all the rules and everything will be revealed next week. So please come back next week, and all the details will be taken care of. Also, Raymond, if you could send me Facebook information, whatever social media you got, so I can get a hold of you, that would greatly be appreciative. Do we need a break, or just to show how quickly things come to fruition and why I lagged on some images? It's okay. It happens. Do we? I like it. The ESPYs. I like it. That is cool. I love it. I love it. Indeed.
Thanks, Jeff.
So do we want to take another break, or do we want to just go straight into shills and shout outs? What do we want to do? I'm asking.
We can quickly run one of the trailers again real quick.
Okay.
All right. Let's go ahead and do that.
We'll be right back.
All right.
So we got some chills coming up that we tell you what's going on along the channels of the multiverse media. See, now the beer's kicking in. Yeah. Wow. On an empty stomach, no less. I'm loving it though. So let's follow Casa D18 Studios. You can find JJ on Instagram at the Renegade JJ Williams, on YouTube on Casa D18 Studios, and Twitter, also known as X. We are not. I'm glad we're not changing the logo. I do not like that logo. It is a horrible logo, but it is what it is. At ROW Williams.
It's straight edge.
He is straight edge. Yes, indeed. Coming up on Renegades Reviews, the Walt Disney Animation Studios from 2000 to the present. I cannot.
This is everything that's been covered in the last month. The last 2 days have seen 7 episodes go live, as I needed to get caught up for missed content last week.
Very good.
All right.
Raymond, there's the Casa D18 Studios exclusive members only. Again, $5 a month gets you all the exclusive content that we played in the trailer earlier in the sports bar. Check that out.
This is all the stuff that went up over the month of July. Best of NXT TakeOver should be going up in the next couple of days. Again, due to missing some content last week. My daughter was over, so I was spending time with her. Priorities over passions. And then, of
Always.
course, you can vote on all of these polls in the community tab. This one here for Renegades Reviews is open to everybody, but the other 3 polls are members only exclusive. We had Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect win the first poll for what SummerSlam match me and Noah are going to call. We had The Rock versus Triple H from 98 win the second poll. And the third one just went live yesterday with Randy Orton versus Chris Benoit, currently leading with 100% of the vote, 2 votes so far.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
Anything else? Tuesdays
Ignore
at 10:05.
the date because Jeff is not going to be live today, but he will be live tomorrow. As there is no episode of the Greg Cherry Show tomorrow. So Jeff will be doing Talk Wrestling live tomorrow night instead.
Okay.
Make sure you guys tune in on Saturday for the SummerSlam coverage. Of course, preceding that on Friday, we'll be simply predicting for SummerSlam across the Casa D18 Studios channel, as well as the Simple Man's brand. Make sure you check out Throwback Thursday this coming Thursday. All that content is being put together and uploaded as we speak so that it can go live on Thursday. Make sure you go back and check out last week's top 10 solo era Beatles songs. Mike gave it a plug earlier. My dad joined us for that show. It was a splendid time guaranteed for all once Pop entered the studio.
Awesome.
Indeed. We always end the show with the Stat Boy shout out and Dori Lou's positive thought of the week. These are our final thoughts. What I do is I usually find somebody to shout out. And in my life and in my social media career and whatever, and this goes all the way back to when Casa D18 was a place where I lived. Renegade and Pop and I, we would watch Big Brother every big season. And it's at one point over 12 seasons, I tried to try out for the show. Unfortunately, they never took me. Come to find out, the gentleman there, his name is Red Utley. He is from Gatlinburg. He is local. And so he is going to be playing the game Big Brother with CBS. If you don't know the show, the game, it is a reality show, and they put them in a house with cameras and microphones everywhere. They play a ton of games. The live feeds that they stream, I heard it will go on the streaming site Pluto TV. So we here in Tennessee, we represent our local Tennesseans. Pop says Dak Prescott leads him first in one category. Yeah, Pop. The thing for the past 2 seasons, if not forever, with that, Pop has said that he will never pick the Dallas Cowboys in any contest. The Cowboys could play the worst team in the league, where it would almost be a guarantee for the Cowboys to win. He would sacrifice a point over that team, which is amazing. The day he picks the Cowboys is the day I probably stop drinking, I think. But anyway, Red Utley is representing the Smoky Mountain areas of Gatlinburg, Sevierville, and Pigeon Forge. So let's see where he goes. I mean, hey, he's apparently by his picture alone, he looks like an energetic character, and CBS said, "You're in." All right, Dori. There's DJ Zach. Follow him on Facebook at Zach Nelson, on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, Fluffy Madden God, and find him on Instagram, TJ Bayside High. There's our information, our IG information. I am Statboy13. Dori Lou is Dori Lou. Dori Lou's Twitter or X at Hathaway Lou, and mine is LBStatKid1977. Drop us a line. Let us know what you want us to talk about. If you see a news story that you want us to talk about, if you see something like on ESPN, or hey, Stat Boy, Dori Lou, what do you think about this? We will gladly look at it. We'll put it in the lineup and we'll talk about it. And that is how it goes. Each week, Stat Girl Dori Lou gives us a weekly delight, also known as a positive thought. Take it away, Dori Lou.
All righty. So for those who might be new to the channel, I try to put out a positive every week. Try to make sure there's some positivity going out there in the universe. There's way too much negative, way too many bad things happening. And we just want to make sure that there is something good going out there to make you smile, make you reflect, or even may help you to grow, whatever it is. And I kind of took this one to heart a little bit. It's from F. Scott Fitzgerald, because I'm also, besides doing the sports bar here with Mikey, with Stat Boy, and my current job, I'm testing waters to kind of expand my horizons a little bit. It's a work in progress. As it comes, as things happen, you'll find out. I'll share. But from what this quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald: "For what it's worth, it's never too late to be whoever you want to be. I hope you live a life you're proud of, and if you find that you're not, I hope you have the strength to start over." Honestly, I've started over many times. From leaving an abusive marriage and raising 3 boys on my own, to leaving Southern California and moving cross country with Stat Boy Mike.
Indeed, that is the story how Dori Lou and I became friends. Started over everything, worked, got through the pandemic, came to Tennessee.
Here we are.
And here we are in Stat Boy's Sports Bar featuring Dori Lou. I hope to, and it's definitely Stat Boy approved, and eventually we'll get a Stat Girl approved. We'll make that trend on the Twitter. It's the Twitter, friends. It may have an X logo. It's the Twitter. Get over it. Next week we're gonna come back again at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. We're gonna do the same format: tennis, golf, NASCAR, NHL, MLB, Women's Cup, World Soccer, any sport you want us to talk about. And of course, the meat and potatoes, football. Remember, Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, NBC Peacock, Hall of Fame game kicks off the preseason. And rules for fantasy football will come up. Until next week, I love you all. Thank you for watching. Let's keep the season going. Stat Boy and Stat Girl, out.